Good day from in Cambodia. This is Charles McCall again, Director of the Cambodian Leadership Institute. And I'm sharing with you again just a few minutes. I'm going to continue sharing with you about the tests of leadership. This is such an important subject because if we're not tested, if we're not examined, then we have potential, but it's not going to be developed. Remember that a life that is unexamined is a life that will not grow to its potential. So we have to allow ourselves and prepare ourselves as leaders that we're going to be tested at every level of leadership. What are we going to do? What does it show about us? And so different kinds of tests. A test is an opportunity, by the way, for a leader to show his or her potential and what level of maturity he or she is at. A test is an opportunity for a leader to show his or her potential and what level that he or she is at. So there's different kinds of tests, many different kinds of tests. For example, there's the faithfulness test. Are we faithful in the small things? Because if we're not faithful in the small things, we're not going to be faithful in the little things. There's the honesty test. Are we going to cover up? Are we going to do things in the shadows? Or are we going to be in the open? Are we going to face our faults and pass the honesty test when we're tempted to cheat, when we're tempted to lie, when we're tempted to do something behind the back of somebody? These are all tests that will affect us as we go to a higher and higher level of leadership. In fact, they will trip us up and cause us to fall if we're not strong in these areas at a higher and higher level of leadership. There's the perseverance test. What happens when we meet an obstacle? What happens when we don't get our way? What happens when we get a difficulty? Meet a difficulty? Are we going to give up? Are we going to become discouraged, hopeless? Are we going to persevere? We're going to wait? We're going to figure out some way to overcome that. There's the waiting test when we feel like it's an opportune moment, but we have to wait. And then there is the rejection test, when we're overlooked and when we're rejected, what happens? And so a test will show our inner weakness. It will show where we lack, and it will show what level we're at. It will show whether we're humble or not. It will show whether we listen to others or not. It will show whether we learn from others or not. And it will show whether we learn from our mistakes or not. Another purpose of a test is to show us if we're stagnated or not. A very serious issue for leaders. We often get to a certain level and we just stay at that level. Won't happen. That if you want to continue to see your potential rise and be all that God created you to be, that you're going to have to rise to a new level and overcome stagnation. And so a test will reveal that. And a test will obviously help us internally. You know, a test can develop our skills and develop our experience, but tests that we meet as leaders are often sent to us to develop us internally. Tests will develop our knowledge. Now we know something that we didn't know before. Tests will develop our experience. Now we have the experience of something experientially, not just theoretically. Tests will develop our character. We're talking about in humility and ability to listen to others and ability to submit. And a test will develop our service, our ability to serve others. When we have a low level or when we're overlooked and we're at a position of serving others, it does a lot for us as we rise to different levels of leadership to have that experience, to have that knowledge. And so just a couple closing thoughts. As Christians, God will send us a test or allow us to meet with a test to prepare us. But the devil will also send us a test in order to destroy us. And so don't be discouraged when a test comes your way, because there's a reason for it, and allow it to do the work that it was sent to do in your life.